everybody. Welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over here is the happy princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I'm doing great, Andre. I'm happy that I might have plans this evening. Ooh, good times,
Hmm.
good times. It's Saturday as we are recording this today. I decided that Saturday needs to be my day where I force myself to take a day off from the gym. Otherwise, I'll just run myself into the ground again.
Yeah.
So she took a break. She cleaned up the house a little bit. I started watching night. What number are we on right now? The 18th. I started watching the 18th, May 18th show of the Best of the Super Juniors, which
I'll
is
be
a show
watching.
that happens after what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I'll be watching that later this evening.
So far, so good. I think you will be happy with the results of the first couple matches.
All right, I'm
You
looking
will be.
forward to it.
Don't worry, that happiness will be quickly snatched away, but you, you will enjoy it. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I got up early this morning, finished Best of the Super Juniors that we're about to talk about. Then I went to work for 9 a.m., worked till 1, then went to the gym, got a workout in, then came home, worked on some graphics and stuff, and now I'm here talking with you. So,
Here we are. Here we
yeah.
are. And do we have some fun stuff to talk about? This tournament is getting good.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we're going to get into it. Before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of you guys, whether you're watching Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk, whether you listen on Sunday's main event. Thank you so very much. If you're listening on Sunday's main event, please hit the RSS feed, give us a like on the video or on the audio. Thank you very much. And if you want to support, patreon.com/SNME Radio for only $4 American per month. If you're watching on the YouTube, whether it's Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk, whether it's Backbreaker, thank you so very, very much for watching on either channel. You can support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, commenting down below, sharing us out to your friends, family, and crazy rock stars that exist within this world. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello.
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 Let's get into it, my friend. We got some fun stuff.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into it again. We're gonna do kind of like last time. We're just gonna quickly go through some of the other matches, and we got each picked a match from each show from nights 3 and nights 4. We each picked a match. We're gonna get in depth on those. So we kick it off. Kevin Knight and Kosei Fujita. Again, really good match here. I gotta highlight the one move in this, that rolling thunder frog splash of Kevin Knight's where he does the front roll and then jump up into that frog. I love that move so much. So good.
And now that he's kind of like got some like very interesting colored gear, he's almost kind of like Tigger.
Mm.
Springs in his feet, and he's just a jumping bean. Holy heck.
Oh,
Kosei
yeah.
Fujita.
Yeah. Finish of the match comes out. Kevin Knight backflips out of the German, landing on his feet, hits sky high for 2 to Kosei Fujita. He follows up with the pendulum DDT, and he gets the win. I was a little disappointed, a little hurt, Kosei losing here, but was happy for Knight because, again, last year wasn't his best performance, and
No.
he seems to be like taking another step up here in this tournament.
Yes, I have to agree. The last year it was really weird because like weren't Knight and Kushida IWGP Tag Champions?
And
And
they
they
took a
kind of
bunch
like
of losses. They took a bunch of losses.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It was kind of like no bueno. Um Now though we've already seen Drilla taking a couple losses at the beginning of the tournament here. However, we've had some developments, 2 shows we got to talk about, plus the show that we're not talking about, which was today, the 18th, which is another one where we saw an interesting development in that. So, yeah, it's very interesting to see how the titles are almost a little cursed in this tournament the last couple of years. But Kosei Fujita, man, what a showcase for him to be able to show off some of his technicality, but also at the same time, Knight got to show off some of the aerial springs and his steps that he has that just rocket him to infinity and beyond. It's fun to watch him wrestle because he brings this like positive energy and then he's learned how to get the crowd going in Japanese. Like he starts speaking to them throughout the match. It's really, really awesome to see. Yeah. Don't got anything else to say on this one.
Yeah. So we are going to move on to Blake Christian versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I thought really good match. Blake Christian playing the good guy here, where the past few matches he was
Mhm.
kind of the heel, but against the heel master, you're definitely the face. Like nobody's more heel than the heel master. So I really like.
Exactly.
I like. It's not like he went out and started waving to the crowd and everything, but
Mm-mm.
he
No, he
still,
wasn't Jack Perry level dumb in that situation.
yeah, he kept the attitude he had, but he
Mhm.
wasn't doing the flipping the crowd off stuff. He didn't do the stuff he does to try to antagonize crowd, but he didn't
Mhm.
play to them in that sense. Like he played almost neutral to the heel.
Yeah, yeah, he was kinda like, the crowd was booing him like he has been requesting from the beginning of the tournament,
Mhm.
but, like, it was a different boo, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's House of Torture boo, which is very distinct, and then there's how they're booing for Blake Christensen or Blake Christian, why do I keep calling him Christensen? Get rid of the sin.
I don't know why.
Oh, I don't know either, but it was almost like a disingenuous boo. It was almost like they're going like, "Yeah, boo, boo, yeah, boo." But, like, then, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, they were genuine, guttural, "Boo, go home, leave,"
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was a very distinct difference in heat. I liked how he didn't give up too much of his heelness, but yes, he definitely was distinctively nice in this one, very similar to how Clark Connors, I'd noted, had been the first 2 nights.
Yeah. So at the end of this match, they both start using the referee to stop the attacks of each other. Kanemaru
Yeah.
misses using the bottle. Blake hits the super kick, sending Kanemaru to the floor. Blake Christian's on the apron, and Kanemaru tries to attack him, so he just does a front flip off the apron, landing on the floor, which was just impressive. Then he hits a
Mhm.
victory roll stomp, which is the same thing that Francesco Akira does. Uh,
Mhm.
then he gets him up on the apron, hits that step off the back curb stomp that he does on the apron, shoves him in, hits a springboard 450, and Blake Christian gets the win to continue on 3-0 in this tournament.
That's my boy. Yes. Get him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes. Happy
this was
Melball.
impressive. This was an impressive match. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've mentioned before, Yoshinobu Kanemaru does have the kind of similar tactic. Likes to bring people outside and he likes to attack the legs because he's setting up for that figure four. But he always has this just unique way and style of doing it, depending on who it is that he's facing. And this was no different. It was a very impressive bout for him. Everything he kind of does, I feel like Yoshinobu is very underrated for how
Oh, yeah.
good he really is. He's kind of like it's almost like he doesn't quite want the spotlight and he's very happy to just kind of do the Fale thing and kinda elevate everybody around him and who he interacts with. Makes me happy anyway because he still gets up and goes, and he's never like, I haven't seen a tournament yet with him not in it. He's always made the cut.
Yeah, because he's all, no matter what this man is going to, he usually picks up minimum 4 points in a tournament. Like I don't
Mhm,
think even in tag team, you always see is his team or him get a minimum of 4 points every year, if not 6 to 8. Because this guy is a quality. He plays quality spoiler at times to people. And then he's also just gets these great victories. So like you think, oh, they're
mhm,
raising him up, but it's like he never quite makes it. But again, this guy
mhm,
had a hell of a career in Noah as a GHC junior champion. So maybe he is just content with
mhm.
being the guy to help elevate the next generation.
That being said, if he ever made the decision to do anything more, he could absolutely do it.
100%.
100%.
100%. So we move on to Mel's first pick on this show. It's Titan versus Hayata. I'm going to run down a few points in this match. There's a beautiful
Mhm.
inverted atomic drop and the defeat by Hayata. He locks up the arm of Titan in his legs and he's like twisting on the arm. He then picks him up for the power for the scoop slam, but has the arm hammer locked and he slams him down on the hammer locked arm, injuring the arm further. Titan does come back with this huge tornado DDT. Looked really good. Um, Later in the match, Hayata gets a shotgun drop kick, then slams Titan, goes for the moonsault, but Titan gets the knees up. They're fighting around. Titan goes for the immortal lock, and Hayata blocks it, and he gets a head scissor
Mhm.
armbar. And Titan is struggling, but he does get to the ropes. We get to the end of the match, and Titan unloads with kicks, gets and hits that running corner lariat through the ropes. Where he goes through the ropes, he goes to the top, hits the top rope double stomp, applies the immortal, transitions from the headlock into the from the Moodalock style into the straight jacket style choke, and Hayata is forced to submit in an absolutely incredible
Mhm.
match. I see why you picked this.
Ooh, yeah, and I had high expectations for this one. It did not disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fracking. Um, there was that, tope that Teton tried to do, and Hayata just kind of Samoa Joe just sauntered his way out of the way, causing Teton to kind of redirect himself and come down on the outside there. That was when Hayata started really picking apart the arm. And it was an interesting tactic because he knows he has to use his arm to kind of pull up on that choke for Immortal. So it made sense to me that he would set that up, but then also that arm bar definitely made that arm soft and squishy for that
Mm-hmm.
arm bar. There was that atomic drop that Hayata does too that I really like. I don't know why, but like we usually see it people do it when they're facing away from each other, don't we?
Yeah.
Like where they're like spooning essentially.
Yeah, that's the basic atomic drop because it's meant to hit like the tailbone area. The atomic drop is supposed to hurt the tailbone and like area. When you do it the other way, it
Mhm.
obviously hurts another part of the body and on the
It
male
hurts your
anatomy.
nads.
Yeah.
It hurts your nads, yeah. Hayata does it really well. Sorry about your nads. But yeah, he just I really like the difference in styling. It's something a little different because Atomic Drop is one of those simple but obviously effective because
Mhm.
it hurts your butthole. Um, but like the other way around, clearly more effective, I guess, especially for the guys. I really felt that this was a punishment match where Hayata was just at one point just punishing Teton and his arm throughout. He seemed a little vicious. I also wanted to note that I noticed today Hayata has actually changed his look throughout this tournament. When he first came in, he had a little darker hair. And then in this match, he kind of had blonder hair. And then on the next show also, he did have blonder hair, but on the 18th, he's back to that dark brown. He's kind of pulling like what we usually see in Stardom,
Mm.
particularly with someone like Amisore or Suri or Mirai, where he's just dramatically changing his hair, but it's like in a series of a few days. It's
Yeah.
been very interesting. That keeps the look fresh. And then he also sometimes wears contacts. Sometimes he just is brown-eyed. Sometimes he's wearing those like whiteout ones that like just leave your pupils and
Those are so creepy.
yeah. He wore those on the 18th show, just an FYI. They were kind of creepy.
Mm.
Um Yeah, the reversal of Immortal into that armbar was just so cool because you could see him kind of looking and waiting. He was like waiting to sink that into him and trick him. And Teton's just sitting there like, "Yay, I'm gonna do my thing." Kind of taken by surprise there. It was really cool. I really, really like the Matrix bend that Teton always does. He just does it so crisply and so good. Followed by that, is that a Pele kick?
Mhm.
Something. backwards kick thing that he
Yeah,
does.
Pele kick. I know there's been other names for it, but it's essentially a Pele kick. Yeah.
Yeah, and Hayata, I believe, also returned a Pele kick after that point. It was really, really neat. Yeah, that shotgun drop kick that Hayata does is so good. Teton
Mm.
took it like a champ. Holy heck, he went flying on that one. The flurry of strikes that these guys had back and forth before going into that kind of finishing transition of that. What are we calling that? What is that forearm called? Where he does that flying forearm all the way through.
Oh, it's like a
Immortal
flying.
forearm?
I thought it was like a lariat through because it look like it reminds like Miz
An
does the same.
immortal lariat.
Miz does the same thing in WWE because he runs in the corner and he leaps through the middle. But he doesn't go flying to the floor. He like lands like feet on the apron. And he's still kind of
Mhm.
halfway in, and then he rolls himself out. But yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, the immortal lariat then. That is really, really cool. I love that. With the follow-up with the double stomp into Immortal. The
mm.
way he reefed on Hayata too. Like Hayata's hands were trapped under his chin. He wasn't really in that choke, but he really caught the feet and then pulled his back, pulled him almost right up into a cobra, if you know yoga. It was crazy. Um, this is the second loss Hayata has taken in the junior division as a heavyweight champion. It's very interesting, very
Mm.
curious. And I'm interested to see what Teton's response is to this because now that's him and Clark Connors who potentially have their foot through the door to challenge for a Noah title. I'm excited. Andre, what do you think of this one?
I thought I really enjoyed this. Like the Teton is just something special in professional wrestling. He can. I don't think there's a person alive you could have a bad match with outside of maybe one, but we won't talk about that person. We don't like to talk about that person. Um,
Who?
I'm not saying, but again, Hayata is just
Oh,
see now you know who I'm talking about.
light bulb.
Hayata is he's like he's a breath of fresh air in this tournament
Mhm,
this year. Same with Ninja Mack, same with Dragon Daya. Um, I don't know. It just I think in these two, just their styles meshing together just seem to work so fluidly. I loved it.
mhm, mhm, mhm. I agree. Clearly, I agree.
It was your pick, so
It was my pick.
we move on to my pick. It's the continuing feud of the War Dogs in the United Empire. It's TJP versus Clark Connors. So good. They just did brawl to begin with. They just start brawling. TJP sends Connors out with a drop kick, but Connors avoids the wrecking ball drop kick, and as soon as TJP lands on the mat on the floor, he hits him with the Jeep flip, sending him into the apron. He bounces off the apron and falls to the floor. It looks so brutal.
Yeah, yeah. I had Japanese commentary at this point only. I don't know if you had
Yeah, it's all
mm,
it's there's no English commentary at this point for that show.
not until the 18th,
Yeah,
where we get Chris Charlton and Walker Stewart. But yeah, hearing hearing the Japanese commentary call this
it's
match was really fun. It was so fun
him yelling
because
Jeep
these guys
flip
were
was oh my god, it made me laugh so
it's
hard.
so great. It's so great because 'cause they're so expressive and they're so
Mm,
excitable in these
yeah,
matches. Yeah, and this especially, I mean, these 2 hate each other. So good.
yeah.
Continue.
There's a spot where Connors is on the apron. He tries to do a spear through the ropes, but TJP catches him and hits the Green
Mhm.
Killer. Looks so good,
Yes.
just
So
so
good.
good.
Oh.
TJP ends up rolling through a power slam attempt and he turns it into a Pinoy stretch. But Connors ends up fighting out. But TJP hits that final cut elbow that he does, that the final cut elbow spin thing that he does, and he gets
Mhm.
a count out of it. Um, Beautiful drop kick by TJP, and he follows it up with a move we haven't seen him do in a while, the detonation kick, which is that off the shoulder, and he drops back into the kick to the head. Love that move.
Yes, yes.
Him. Ricochet. I know Ricochet uses it. There's a couple other guys in the indie scene that use it too.
Mm.
It's actually one of my favorite moves to use in the WWE 2K games. It's the detonation kick. Yeah.
That's fair.
TJP gets sent to the apron. Connor spears him through the ropes to the floor, which looked great. Then he gets him back in the ring, hits another spear, but can only get two. TJP dodges into the corner, hits a tornado DDT, hits a spear, hits his own spear. He goes up, but Connors pushes the ref into the ropes. TJP gets crushed on top. Connors gets up. They're fighting back and forth. He eventually gets a suplex and rolls through, hits no chaser, and Clark Connors is your victor. And I thought this match, just the way these two, again, they've been feuding for so long. They feuded all through last year in the tag team division, and just they play so effortlessly off each other, and they just know with the other all their moves mesh so well together. It's just the charisma that you have coming off of both these men, and this is the first match I think we got to see Clark Connors truly be angry, like heel Clark Connors again, which was great to see because again he's going up against a guy who's trying to prove himself, and then it works so well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. Um, I liked how at the beginning of this, Akira and Callum both came out with TJP but chose not to remain at ringside.
Mm-hmm.
I like how TJP does have his own little flag. Um, I don't like that it's not as flashy as the Great O'Con's.
Mm.
Maybe steal the Great O'Con's flag for it a little bit. I still appreciated it because it was able that they were able to use it in the match, as you saw Connors did go over, grab the flag, and do some ish.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Talk about.
I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate the action, but I appreciated that it was involved and that it was another kind of layer to add some. It was something new to add to their feud because like, we expect them to hate each other. We expect them to go at each other,
Mm-hmm.
but they've been feuding for well over a year now. It's still nice and refreshing to see them be able to throw different things in there to help add to their feud kind of thing. The face wash is something I love TJP's face wash. It's just so good. And
Clark
like Clark,
Connors. Clark Connors' version was great.
yeah, hate to admit it, but yeah.
It's just that
So,
he started doing it, then flipped everybody off. I'm like, oh my god, so good.
I mean, that's Clark Connors, right? I really like his aesthetic and how it's like kind of all over the place. You never really know which version of Clark Connors you're going to get. So you could see there was some little cornrows that he had in his hair after the match. And he's also wearing his gear that has the pink accent on it again, which I like. I don't like the boots so much, but
No,
I don't know what it is with Connors, but I'm not a fan of his footwear at all. Because he has those kind of cowboy boot looking ones too, and those ones I'm not a fan of too. Because he looks like they're not very tight. Like he kind of stumbles a lot in them.
it's him and Nick Nemeth whose boots I just don't like either of their boots.
Gato.
I can live with Gatos, but like just
He
those two.
has floaties on the bottom of his shoes.
I know, but it's funny.
They look like boats. Like those blow up boats that you see on the bayou with the big fan on the back and the inflatable butts? That's what his shoes look like. They're just missing the fan. Back to the match though. Yeah, you mentioned the body slam where TJB transitioned into that submission. What was it called?
The Pinoy stretch.
I don't know why I wrote down an STF. That's what I thought it looked
It
like.
is it's actually it's actually a version of the Regal stretch, William Regal's submission, which is a version of an STF. So
Yeah, well, there you go. So I sort of was right. I was on at least the right track
mm,
and not in a different ball game like I
yeah,
usually am. Yeah, the spear through the ropes by TJP was phenomenal. So good. So impressive. Yeah, that's all I got on this one. This was a great match. Good pick.
Yeah, once I saw it, I'm like that. As soon as I saw it, I knew you had already messaged me about your pick, and I'm like, this is my pick, 100%. This is my
Yes.
pick because I thought they did so good together, man. We
Mm-hmm.
move on. Main event of the evening. It's a Bushi, Bushi, Bushi.
Bushi?
Did you see any Bushis in the crowd? Three.
Three.
Ooh. Any
And
Desperado? Any Desperados in the crowd?
I did not notice any desperados, which is interesting because his mask is more easily accessible.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Interesting.
But I
So
did
the
see a Teton one. Did
ooh,
see a
there's a
Teton one.
Teton on this show.
It was next to the
Bushi.
Bushi.
So Bushi is getting set up. He go at the end of this match. Bushi is setting up to go for the MX, but Desperado reverses it into a stretch muffler. But as Bushi's trying to roll out of the stretch muffler, Desperado rolls through with him, and this is where he catches the arm, tightens it in, numero dos, and Bushi is forced to submit in what was a really good, like, again, very much a lucha match, but it was the lucha
Hmm.
high flying versus lucha technical, which I love this the way they did this together.
Hmm. Hmm. It was very much a showcase of that Lucha Libre because you said that we're going to be getting a Fantastica Mania US show soon. Yeah, very
July.
excited about that. This is what you get to look forward to. This kind
Mm-hmm.
of styling. And this style just meshes so well with the NJPW strong style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a great main event. Or sorry, I went to the wrong show. This was the main event, right?
This was a main event.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I went to the next night's show already. I was kind of looking at my notes like, this does not look familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a fun main event. Really nice way to end the show. If I remember correctly, Desperado was pretty short and sweet with his closeout. With the crowd on here.
Yeah.
Very appreciative. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Bushi wear his multi-nation gear?
I think he did.
Yeah, where he has the pattern of all the little flags all over his mask and his gear.
Yeah, I think that's what he was. I think I can't remember honestly which one he was wearing.
I
He
feel
changes
like
his
that's
gear.
his
It's different.
his
Go ahead.
I feel like this tour is the purple and black gear as
Mm-hmm.
well as the purple and white gear and the white flag gear.
Mm-hmm. He's always
I
changing
didn't
it
write it
though.
down. Yeah, I mean, it keeps it fresh, right? Especially with all the different masks and stuff.
Him and Kevin Knight both keep changing it up, so which I like. I like variety.
See? See?
Yeah.
This is partially why we love some of the Japanese women, like Julia, constantly changing her look.
Damn.
Tanaka, another one, constantly. Natsupoi, constantly. And Lucas, Suzu, and Mei Mei. We could go on, but
Oh
we
yeah.
will be here all night.
Yeah. So we move on to the May 16th night number 4 show. We kicked it off with Mel's pick. It is Kushida versus Francesco Akira. Again, uh I was excited. Ooh, I'm not in the right place in my notes. Ah, God, there we go. Yeah, again, these two are it's just I seen again, these are two guys that I seen to flow so well together. There didn't seem to be a hiccup at all. And two guys that really, outside of maybe last year, and they had a couple tag team matches together over the last year with Jet Setters getting involved, but like not a crazy amount of singles with these two. Yeah. I like the way they worked. Um, Kushida really working over the arm in this match, getting just work. That's what he does. He has that hoverboard lock as his main finish. So he's working over the arm throughout. There's a great spot where Akira does this slingshot over the top into a cutter. Oh, that was pretty. That was shades of Osprey right there.
Very much so. Very, very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, Akira reverses a hoverboard lock attempt into a beautiful release German. Um, Kujida reverses the plancha to the floor into an armbar. Then he hits like a running like a bulldog, but with the armbar. It looked painful as shit, man. And he did
Yeah.
that on the floor. It looked great.
Hmm.
Akira gets Rancho in the corner. He falls with a head kick and hits speed fire, but only gets two. In the end, though, Akira trying speed fire. It goes for a speed fire off the top rope, but Kushida ends up snapping the arm on that top rope. Um, but Akira comes down and he super kicks him up top. But when he comes back up, Kushida gets the hoverboard lock on him on the top into a suplex, landing, rolling through into the hoverboard lock, and Akira eventually has to tap out. Man, like just incredible finish with the hoverboard lock suplex off the top, holding it the entire way, and then rolling into
Mhm.
the hoverboard lock on the ground. I was like, oh goddamn.
Yes, yes. This is a match that, like, again, you said they flow so well together, but this is not something that we typically see Akira kind of having to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
Akira very much is a high speed wrestler. The faster he goes, the more deadly he is. And Kushida knows that. He's wrestled Akira enough, clearly, based on this match, that he knows what's going to happen and where to kind of get Akira to slow down. And that's what he did. He wrestled so smart this match, keeping Akira's speed down, 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 so he couldn't get that momentum that he would need. But Akira, partway through, started wrestling very, very smart himself. He started catching on to what was going on. He started reversing and having an answer for a lot of what it was that Kushida was trying to give to him. And that's how we ended up in this amazing kind of wind down at the end of the match. Kushida really working that arm of Akira, softening it up for that hoverboard lock, and oof, that was so smart. Kushida, I'm happy to see this resurgence for him, pun intended with the last show. Because again, the last year was not particularly kind to him. And then just coming back from what does Charlton call it? His excursion in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Coming back off of that, he's kind of been teaming with Motor City Machine Guns again, kind of rejuvenating his name. I'm looking forward to see what he does for the rest of the year. That's what else. Uh, the last thing I wanted to say is that when Akira did have those moments where he started to pick up speed, it looked fantastic. He looked just in his element. This was a match of two men just in their elements, having fun, doing their thing, putting on a banger of a match. I enjoyed this one so much. Obviously.
Yeah.
Andre, what do you
And they
think?
were I talked about it as I was recapping. I love this. I thought these two again they flowed so well, but I still want to see Kushida move to the heavyweight division. But the thing is, he's 41 now, and yeah, he's 41. I just looked it up, and it just I think it's almost too late for him to move up now. But he's still wrestling such a high level. Things I don't want Kushida back in New Japan full time if he's a junior. I'm okay with him being off in TNA, doing his thing in the States. Um, if he's with it still within the junior, coming back doing odd junior stuff here and there. But if he wants to
Mhm.
go heavyweight and start working with a lot of the heavyweight guys in New Japan and work more dates in New Japan, I'd be down for that. Because again, getting to see some of the heavyweight guys work with what Kushida has. I think that'd be very interesting.
I think it would depend on the heavyweight guy
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But that would be interesting to see because, like, I would mind seeing him face somebody like Shingo Takagi. That would be a great match. But I wouldn't like to see him face somebody like Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb would obliterate him.
But what I would
I
love to
also
see is
would,
oh, I would love to see it because being he's junior, I would love to see him challenge for that strong open weight title against Gabe Kidd because I think that match could be absolutely incredible.
yeah. See, that one would be a good one. Another one that would not be good would be El Presidente.
No,
I
please
feel
God,
like
no.
that would be just unfair to El Presidente at that point. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say to this one. This was so good. So good.
I literally just thought of something. Except
Yeah.
for the 6-man title defenses, every time if Tanahashi gets challenged, he just says send out Bolt and Oleg to face them in his place because it's like here you fight them, big man,
No.
fight them for me, big man. Let me actually.
No, it'd be like sending out Kung Fu Panda to defend you. Come on now.
Kung Fu Panda was awesome, man. What are you talking about? Kung Fu Panda is the shit.
That was weird.
What?
No, I just thought I saw something on my camera.
Me?
Weird.
I'm on your camera.
No, you're on your camera. I thought I saw something in this void right here. It's
Oh,
weird. Anyway,
it's your haunted house that you live in. That's what it is.
hell no.
We
Oh
move
no.
on.
This place
We
is
move.
protected, sir.
We move on to my pick of Douki versus
Yeah.
Drilla Moloney. My pick to win this entire thing. Um, Drilla, again, I really noticed he's trying to go for that Drilla killer very often. It's almost costing him. A lot of
Mhm.
the times he's lost twice trying to go for that Drilla killer has directly led to him losing twice now. So and right off the hop, he goes to that Drilla killer really early, and Douki gets the jackknife pin for 2. And you're like, dude, like use some of your other repertoire before you go after Drilla killer. Like just
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
yeah. Drilla actually does a sidewalk slam to Douki onto one of the fan chairs on the floor. So it's like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, my back hurt just watching that. Yikes.
And he's like tearing at the mask, trying to pull it off of Doki's face. Douki blocks a spinning back fist and gets the Douki chokey, but Drilla Moloney gets a foot on the ropes pretty much immediately. Um,
Mhm.
Drilla ends up catching the daybreak attempt and hits it. It's that beautiful spinebuster spinebuster stomp senton combo. So good, so good.
Senton?
Um, well,
I wrote
he
down that that was like an elbow drop, that double stomp
oh
elbow drop combo.
Oh, it might be an elbow drop, but again, for originally he would stomp and then do a senton out of the stomp. But again, it could be an elbow
Yeah,
drop, could be kind
this
of
one he
how
did
it,
an elbow drop. I
however
noted
it's
that.
coming down because he might be coming down to the side, so he throws the elbow. Sometimes he comes directly on him with
Yeah,
the senton. Just that combo, no matter what it ends with, is just awesome.
so
Um,
good.
Douki eventually gets the daybreak, which is that slingshot DDT over the top, but he can only get 2. In the end, Drilla stops a tornado TDT. Um, he tries for Drilla Killer, but Doki rolls through, getting the Doki Chokey. But Drilla gets a foot on the ropes again. Doki tries to reapply the roll through and reapply the Doki Chokey. But Drilla versus him, gets him up. Drilla Killer, and he finally gets his first 2 points of this tournament. Here we go. 6 more straight wins. He's going to come out here with 14 points, and he's going to get into the goddamn semifinals. Let's go.
Such passion, such
Mm-hmm.
passion. Um, just gonna give real quick because I'm the aesthetics girl. Drilla looking really pretty. And I mean that in the most heterosexual way. Like, he looks so good. He comes out with the man bun, and that beard is perfectly manicured. There is not a hair out of place on that beard. You have to admit, that's a nice beard. This
Mm-hmm.
picture is outdated. He has a full beard. He looks he looks dashing, looks handsome. And I he didn't do it in this match, but like I keep going to the 18th. He managed to wrestle the show on the 18th with his man bun completely intact. So he left as pretty as he came into that match. I got to appreciate the prettiness. That being said, though, this man was freaking savage in this match again. It was like whatever kind of like do that him and Connors were doing at the beginning of this tournament kind of got forgotten in this show, and we started to see the savagery starting to pop out again, which I appreciate. That as we mentioned, the Daybreaker attempt that got reversed into that spine buster, which I love spine busters, especially when they're just kind of popped off out of nowhere. He definitely did that, and he forced him down to the ground. It was very, what's the word? Authoritative.
Mm.
And yeah, that double stomp elbow drop combo is just It's a personal favorite of mine. It's one of those things where it's just so simple and quick but effective. Um, yeah, Doki Choki. Just love the Doki Choki. Commentary doesn't call it the Doki Choki.
What do they call it? Or what do they? I really?
Yeah, I haven't heard them call it the Doki Choki. I think that's just an English commentary thing.
I think that's more of a Genoism more than
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
A Genoism that is held in memory by Chris Charlton, Kevin Kelly, and Walker Stewart.
Callum Newman, Robbie Eagles, all those guys trying to do it.
Everybody, yeah, essentially, yeah. Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
Yeah,
This would have been
yeah,
my second choice for this
yeah.
night.
Well, as soon as I watched, I think I sent you a message at like 6 a.m. or like 6:30 a.m. this morning after finished watching it, and I'm like, I'm taking this match. I'm just like, because you hadn't sent me your pick for this, and I'm like, I'm taking Douki versus Drilla Moloney. I just flat out said it. I'm like, I'm taking this one because I'm like, I need
It's
to.
fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
We move on. Ninja Mack versus Show. So I'm going to talk about the beginning of this match. Show comes out dragging Ninja Mack to the ring. He's like half dead here at this point. He stands above the ring,
Mhm.
like in the corner. The ref rings the bell. And Show gets a scoop slam and gets a tap out submission. Oh my. But then the real Ninja Mack runs out. He's got the tape on his legs. He obviously was taped up in the back, and the ref decides to wave off the submission win by Show, and the match is restarted. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get mad at this. This is very Yano-esque, but I really like because again, this is a fully masked guy who it's very. He's been wearing his like sleeves on some of the shows. So again,
Mhm.
I, I don't know who it was. They didn't. I don't think they ever did. They reveal it after the match. I don't know. I don't remember.
I mean, if in my head, it's a little thick, because why else would they need the sleeves? To hide his tattoos.
Yeah, or they could have just like stolen a young lion or something and made and like beat him up and then dragged him out in a Ninja Mac
But then
costume.
why hide the arms?
I'm
Unless
not
it
sure.
was, what's his name? Kato? Katsuya Murashima? Because he
Could have been
does
one of
have that kind of skin issue.
could be.
But I don't think that no, they're not large enough. And when I say large enough, I don't mean tall enough. Sandra Mack's a little taller than them, and he
Yeah,
is a little thicker
yeah.
than the young boys, which is why I immediately went to Togo because Togo kind of has
Maybe it
that
was
kind of
Yano.
build.
Maybe it was Yano.
It was not Yano. He walked too well.
I know
Also,
it's funny.
Yano's feet point outward when he walks. This guy's feet pointed forward. Just a little note.
Yeah. So we get into the match. Max sends Show to the floor, and he hits these multiple backflips, and Fosbury flops over the top onto Show on the floor. That looks so good.
So cool. It was really cool.
This guy is amazing.
Hmm.
I'm gonna. If you want to see some more amazing stuff by Mac in this match, go check it out. It was really good on New Japan World.
Hmm.
I'm gonna jump to the end. Show pushes the ref into Mac, and the ref gets knocked down, and he hits a spear to Ninja Mac. Show gets the wrench, but he goes to hit him. The other Ninja Mac is in the ring. The real Ninja Mac appears behind him, takes the wrench, but Show drops his knees. He's banging off. As Ninja Mac's like, okay, and he turns around to go drop the wrench, and Show rolls him up, but the ref still isn't up. So Mac drops Show with a kick when he gets back up, but he misses the Phoenix Splash, but he gets a lariat, and he gets Show's championship belt. But the ref takes it away from him. As the ref who's recovered takes the belt and puts it back into the corner, Show gets the low blow. He gets the win. This, but again, it wasn't as torturing as usual. At least, like even
No, I would
all of
agree
them,
with that.
yeah.
I think it's because at this point we're missing a few key members.
Yeah. Well,
mercifully.
the
Oh, no,
evilest
they're
of them
back
all.
by now.
Well, no, the evilest of all of them all might still be hanging out in the states because he might be hanging out with his wife there over there, hanging out with
That's
Yoshirai.
true, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Um, yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to this. This was kind of like, as you mentioned, it wasn't as tortury,
Mm.
but it by no means was also not not torturous as well. That makes sense. Um, there were shenanigans. They were not to the normal level of shenanigans, but they were close. They came
Mm.
pretty darn close. I still thought it was a really fun, unique way because we knew Show was going to cheat his way through this tournament anyway.
Mm.
I felt it was a nice, fun, unique way, and clearly that someone was down to go with it. Um, it's a nice, refreshing kind of spin and a kind of like a nice different way for Show to obtain his win, which I
Mm.
appreciate because at least there's some creativity going on.
Yeah. It's changing it up, but it's still allowing the guys that he's working with, for the majority of them, to have really good matches with him because he's doing a lot of. While he's still pulling his crap, he's still doing a lot of good work in these matches. I find when shows on his
Mhm,
own, outside of the couple title matches that he's had over the last while, he's got some really good stuff with certain people, especially when you're getting in these tournaments where he's getting multiple matches in the span of a
mhm.
couple weeks. He seems to be doing a lot better work.
Mhm, I
Yeah.
agree. It's been really weird to, like, see how he's transitioned over the last couple of years because like, he was with Yo for the longest time. They were the Tempura Boys and then Pongi 3K, and, like, Yo was actually more the charismatic front person, and Sho was kinda the, like,
Mm.
quiet, reserved one who was just there, and then he turned on Yo and joined House of Torture, and now he's become this, like, Kota Ibushi level oversell kinda charismatic kind of person, and it was almost like he took all of the charisma from Yo in the same moment until he
Mm.
hooked up with Leo, and he's kind of refound that. So it's interesting to kinda see the change and how it's impacted his ability to wrestle and have decent matches.
Mm. I think you went too
Mhm.
far in the way of the personality and doesn't focus enough on the wrestling.
Which is unfortunate because he's such a good wrestler, and we know he's a good wrestler, it's some bullshit.
Yeah. So we move on to Hiromu Takahashi versus Dragon Dia. There were some
Look at the
dare.
picture, it looks like he's giving him a wet willy.
Oh, it does, and he's just like, "Ooh, why are you
He's like,
doing
"Ooh,
this?"
your finger's in my ear."
There were some dare. I saw some Daryls in the crowd.
Yes. Didn't Connors eat one in his match?
I don't remember, but he might have.
I think he yeeted one after his match.
I didn't notice the aftermatch part. Hiromu ends up presenting a signed photo of himself to, I think it was Milano Collection AT.
Correct.
There, yeah, yeah. I thought that was cool. So in the end, at the end of this match, so we're just gonna jump to the end here. Hiromu gets the
Mhm,
knees up on this awkward 450 splash by Dragon DX. He kind of, as he rotated around, he kind of landed on his feet and went into the rotation and it hit the knees, and it looked rough. Of a pretty rough 450. And then he rolls him through, getting him into the fireman carrier, rolls through and up, hits the time bomb, the original time bomb, the Death Valley driver, but only gets two. He follows up with a pumping bomber, but I think he has another name for his pumping bomber. What's it? But it's essentially the pumping bomber, and he picks him up. Time bomb two, and Hiromu Takahashi gets the win. Yeah.
I didn't not expect this one, unfortunately. It just doesn't look like they're this looks like a showcase for Daya, but not so much
Mm.
a let us put you in our semifinals kind of thing, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate because he's actually very, very good. Very good wrestler.
Mhm.
Um, I don't have a whole ton to add to this. I felt that this was kind of what I expect out of Hiromu. I'm impressed by what I'm seeing from Daya. He definitely seems to be like that kind of upcoming new aerialist who's going to be. He's almost like, maybe correct me if I'm wrong on this, Andre. He kind of feels like a Japanese soy boy.
Uh, yeah, I see it. Yeah, just not
Mm,
as good,
just
not
a
as good at,
similar
just not,
style.
just not as good at 450s. So that's Soy Boy.
Yeah, soy boy is definitely very good at that.
Yeah,
But yeah, he kind of has that aerial traditional power style, depending on the size of junior that he's facing. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with what I see. I am a little disappointed that his skateboard seems to be a nice weapon for everybody else but him.
yeah.
Um,
It, it makes me sad in a way for him because he's getting beat up by his own
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I do also appreciate how he brings out like a hat for whoever's in the crowd, kind of like Utami with her rose, or Shota with his little slap bracelet thingies. I appreciate that. It's a nice little touch. She's very over with the crowd, and I do not suspect that this is the last time we're going to see Daya.
No, I think again, it all depends on like how partnerships go forward. Again, the Japanese companies will be there, but again, it's like I know with Cyberfight who do own DDT and Noah, they're looking to partner with WWE, where New Japan's partnered with AEW. So again, how could that affect things going forward? You know what I mean? You
I
could have.
guess we'll see because we do have a lot of people and connections kind of in Noah with Daya, with Kojima, with Kaido, Gabe Kidd, like Ryohei Oiwa, all kinds of connections. But companies, we know the best solution here is to just do business. Who
Hmm.
cares on who everybody else is doing business? What matters is that the companies are elevated
Yeah.
and, just elevate each other. That's all we need.
Yeah, and like I said, I think Dragon Dia was put into the position that Taguchi would have had in this tournament. As like,
Mm,
I'm not saying he replaced him, but and because Taguchi was going to get maybe one, maybe two wins in this entire tournament, and I think that's what Dragon Dia is really in place of, right? Because with him out,
mm.
I think he's taken that spot. He's the pin taker for a lot of these matches. He'll play spoiler to somebody late in the tournament, but yeah.
You know who I'm hoping for? I don't know if he's in the same block. I don't think he
B
is.
block. It's B block. Which who?
Sh-
Who?
Show.
Yeah, they're in the same block. They're both in B block.
Oh, I hope it's that one. I hope his only loss in the tournament is die.
That'd be great. I would love
How
to see
much a
show.
slap in the face would that be for sure?
That would be great. That would just be
Ah,
awesome. Yeah.
ah,
So
let's do it.
we're gonna move on to the main event of the May 14th show. It is Taiji Ishimori and Robbie Eagles. I love those flashing lights on Ishimori's bone salt mask.
Yeah, the mask. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah. So the end of this match, Robbie Eagles goes for the Ron Miller special, but he ends up getting pushed into the exposed buckle. Ishimori then rolls him up for two, then transitions into the bone lock. But Robbie eventually works his way out, and he gets Ishimori into the Ron Miller special. Excuse me. Ishimori works his way over to the ropes. So before he quite gets there, Robbie Eagles lets go, pulls him back to the center to readjust, but Ishimori almost looks like he small packages him, but he rolls it up into Bloody Cross and hits it. And he gets the win. And I really love the way they transition into the Bloody Cross there. And he's been doing this in
Mm,
the match, like transitioning stuff into a Bloody Cross for the win. It's looking great.
He's done
Yeah.
that a few times throughout this tournament, and I absolutely love it because it looks so good.
Mm,
Um, I was obviously disappointed because I have Robbie. Robbie's my boy.
mm.
He's my boy in this tournament. Um, only because Kenta is not an option. Ah, but yeah, what a main event this was. You have the speed of these two guys just trying to get some speed up on the other one, trying to pop off their stuff. This was a very excitable main event for me.
Mm,
Ishimori has kind of been, I don't want to say a quiet riot because like he really doesn't say much. He just kind of shows up, shows out, and goes home. You know what I'm saying? Like he does his job and he goes. He doesn't tend to make a massive spectacle of himself, whereas TMDK is a spectacle. It's a walking spectacle in itself, and they refuse to not be noticed. And I like that about this team, especially because they have such
mm,
credible people in this faction with Mikey Nichols, Shane Hayes, Kosei Fujita, the front man, Zack Sabre Jr. is just such. They've become the new solid United Empire. The United Empire's in a little bit of a state right now. I'm going to get
mm.
sidetracked if I start rambling about that. I don't have much to add. I just really enjoyed how this was able to close off. I'm disappointed that Robbie didn't pick up a win, but there's always the next one.
Yeah, there's always the next one because again, it all depends. Like, yeah, there's always a next chance because again, Drilla
Mhm.
Moloney is the same point as Robbie Eagles. He's 1-2, so Eagles is the same point. So
Oh,
yeah,
we're tied.
yeah, we are tied. So we're gonna go. I want to go over the blocks quickly, the points for you. Oh, I made a mistake there. There we go. So in a block, you have Heaton and Blake Christian, each with 6 points leading the A block. You have El Desperado and Kevin Knight, and also Clark Connors with 4 points. Then you have Hayata, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Kosei Fujita with 2 points. And then you have Bushi and TJP with 0 points, 3 matches in. So it's not exactly how I thought the table would be set right now, but again, everything can change. There's still 6 matches to go for everybody. So
Mhm, 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 mhm. Yeah, and again, I've said it every video, every time we have these tournaments, there's always that Cinderella story. They love that Cinderella story. So it's going to be a toss up, and we see a couple really good front runners for it. Yeah.
yeah. So and we're gonna jump over block B. We have on top we have Kushida and Taiji Ishimori each with 6 points. We have 4 undefeated wrestlers within 2 blocks, which is pretty impressive.
Hmm.
You have Show, sadly, and Ninja Mack each with 4 points. So Show, if they keep going and keep tied, Show gets the tiebreaker over Ninja Mack, which makes me mad. Show shouldn't have tiebreakers over anyone. Then you have Drilla Moloney, Robbie Eagles are our picks to win this thing. Francesco Akira,
Hmm.
Douki, and Hiromu Takahashi all with 2 points. And then you have Dragon Dia alone in last place with 0 points.
Poor Dragon. He'll get something. He'll get
Yeah.
something. I'm
Yeah.
hoping anyway.
Yep.
And not hit with his skateboard, I'm hoping. What a tournament we are having, man. Like, what a time to be a wrestling fan. Get access
Oh,
to
heck yeah.
so many amazing wrestlers, so many different styles. Real privilege, my friend.
Yeah, it really is. But it is time for us to get out of here. We want to thank all of you for joining us here. You can find me on the X at That Canada Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk, or right here on YouTube at youtube.com/ at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. I'm a little burpy today. You can also find us in audio form over at Sunday Night's Main Event.com. Go over there, hit the RSS feed, put it in your podcast catcher, and listen to us talk to you in audio form and all the other great shows over on Sunday Night's Main Event. Uh, also check out their Patreon if you want to support them for only $4 American per month. I think it's 5 Canadian. You can get all the great content they put out and all the shows that are on the network. Should be ad free and get some perks on the Patreon too. So you get a couple extra shows, perks to go on with the show, and other things that go on there. So check out their Patreon to give them a little bit of support. You can find us over at twitch.tv/our local establishment and youtube.com/at our local establishment. You can find me Wednesdays doing Marvel Talk with my boy Ol Ed. We'll be back, not this coming Wednesday, but we'll be back on the 29th. And we'll have the MCU Rebound on that show talking Thor, The Dark World. And I'm not a big fan of Thor, The Dark World, but it's better than Thor.
Loki.
Yeah, but it's still it's a rough one. Even though it is Chris Eccleston as a bad
Tom
guy,
Hiddleston makes everything better.
he eventually got his own show. That's fine. This is just not my this Loki is not my jam. It's not Loki. The Loki's my jam when you get to Ragnarok. Then he's proper Loki at that point. That's the Loki that everybody I think fell in love that really loves is the one from Ragnarok. But
Oh no, I fell in love with the Loki in the first one who tried to off his brother.
that's crazy. So yeah, May 29th we'll be back with that. So check us out on Twitch and YouTube at our local establishment. Also want to give a big shout out to Mike the Ref for simulcasting all of our stuff over on Backbreaker Video, youtube.com/at Backbreaker Video. If you want to see all Mike's live content where he's got his AEW watch-alongs, go to twitch.tv/Mike the Ref, where you can hang out with him on Wednesdays and Saturdays and pay-per-view Sundays, watching some AEW together. And don't forget to check out the rest of the week where he's got gaming content almost every single day going on. So check that out, from sports to fantasy to RPGs to almost to fighting games, every kind of thing you could imagine, game you can imagine almost is he plays on there. If you want to see replays of his great gaming content, go to youtube.com/at Backbreaker_gaming, where you can find replays of him, Mr. PJC, Mr. Rick Jules, right, that guy right there, and their frequent guest, Kayla J.
Kayla J. Kayla J. Kayla J. Kayla J. We love Kayla J here.
Yes, we do. Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find me on our local establishment's programming, Japanese Wrestling Update with this guy, every Friday night at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, unless it's not. And then we will let you know on our socials when it is coming out. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's pre-recorded, depending on how busy we are and if we have a wrestling show that night. So I believe this week we are going to be live.
Yeah, we were live. We were live last night because we're recording this on Saturday. We were live last night. We'll probably be live again this coming Friday, but the Friday after we're going to be at an LPW show.
Yes, we are. See, Buzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Busted.
Royce Isaacs, New Japan.
Oh,
About New
yes,
Japan.
Senior Fringe, but he hasn't been wearing Senior Fringe recently. Kind of disappointing. I hope he brings the fringe. We're off topic now. Japanese wrestling updates. Stay tuned to our socials to see when that's happening. You can also catch me on Astro Bizarre's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We have a show coming up with a couple guests in line for the next few, so you want to stay tuned to our socials to see when that is coming out. You want to watch NJPW, we will leave a link in the description box down below. It is njpwworld.com. It is 999 yen, or approximately 10 Canadian. Shout out Sean Spears. What is more like 750? Still an amazing price to watch some amazing professional wrestling. And if you want a taste of what you can expect from njpwworld.com, if you check out their website, all of their matches for the New Japan World TV title, correct? Is that how you say it?
Sure.
NJPW World TV title are all completely free. So go on there and check out what NJPW has to offer. Andre, My trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
I just want to say thank you all so very much for joining us here. Please like the video, or if you're listening in audio form on Sunday's main event, just like the episode and follow the channels, and so if you want to support, go to patreon.com/snme radio. And if you're watching on the YouTube, whether it's Backbreaker video, whether it's under Melball Wrestling Talk, thank you so very much. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, share us out to your friends, family, and very angry salespeople that might come door to door sometimes. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Don't tell the salespeople I have enough problems with people coming to my door here. Ding dong.
Hello. Hello, can I sell you some knives?
Only if I could test them on you. I'm just kidding. Oh, what a world we live in. And that being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.